our guest speaker, his flyer said what? The year of your impact, not his impact, but your impact. Let me tell you about it for some of those who don't know who our guest speaker is for the day. He is a wonderful father. He is a devoted family man. He's a young youth pastor. He's a pastor. Period. Shoot, that's what it is. He's a dear friend. He's also a Cleveland Browns fan, as you well know, and he also started his team called Impact. And to this day, he has over 40,000 customers and 7,000 IBOs. And I love how he has just a straight talk with everybody. Could everybody give a warm welcome to Steve Payten II? Yeah, yeah.
Man, I tell y'all, man, we doing homeschool right now. And, you know, I've been homeschooling for, I don't know, for like the last 7 years. And my wife is the teacher, I'm the principal. And we heard Mr. Thomas, good morning, good morning, good morning. And my kids they always get tickled hearing how loud he is, because when I was in Vegas, I would stay with him. And I would just say, man, he will wake me up because he's so loud. But I appreciate him so much. But he's loud just like my kids. But it gets you woke up and ready to go. I love Mr. Thomas so much because he's just such an authentic person, and he's willing to do whatever it takes for his team, his friends. He just has a big heart. You know, the SVP pen, the SVP position has not got to his head at all. He just loves helping people, and you know, that heart and mindset. I like to be around people like that. So I appreciate you, and I want you guys to appreciate your leader. Take advantage of your leader. That's kind of what I'm gonna talk about today, because there are missed opportunities that happen when you don't know who you got, who you are working with. You know, so last week we talked. I'm gonna catch some people off guard. We already got our good morning, good morning, good mornings. So someone unmute and tell me what we talked about last week. What stood out? And if you applied it, and how did you apply it? Let's see. Because it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be about it. Who did it really sink into? And then you actually applied it. It became in your heart. I was watching a guy yesterday, a prophet actually, and he said, don't just read the Bible. He said, when you read and you just read it, or you just memorize scriptures, it's in your head. He said, but when it's in your heart, you live it out. It's in your heart. So let's see. Are people muted? Or is everybody?
No, sir, they're unmuted. I'll go first. Can I go first? Can I go first?
Man.
No, I won't go first. I got my notes. I won't go. I got my notes, but I'm excited. Yeah, we'll let somebody else go.
Yeah, I want to hear somebody's voice. I see some of you guys. Y'all put it in the chat, and it's good. Melissa, it's good. But I want to hear somebody.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. This is Jackie Black. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I got from the last meeting, and first I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Payten, for all you do, and Mr. Thomas as well. And what stuck with me is my word. When you were talking about your word, when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Also about the coach, and also following the Bible. And also knowing that God gave me this business. And those are what stuck with me. And that's what I've been keeping through the week. I have my notes in front of me too. But that's what stuck with me, and that's what I've been doing. And people follow people who are going somewhere. And it made me say, okay, watch who you around and keep being around, you know, our leaders. I could go on and on, Mr. Payten, but I'm a cut so other people can have a chance. God bless.
That's perfect. I just need to hear one. And I appreciate you because I can tell. I want to experience you. Experience that you actually follow the system, follow what I was talking about, and are living it. It's in your heart, It's in her heart. You hear it? It's in her heart. Mr. Thomas, did you want to go still?
No, sir. No, sir. Since nobody said anything, I thought I'd go because I'm always ready. I always take notes. But no, I'm gonna let everybody else go first. Nobody said nothing, so I thought I'd kick it off. But now people are starting to kick in, so no.
And yes, you good. And talk to everybody. Need to coach, push up beyond the limits. Good job, Ishmael. I like what Captain said too. Do things differently. Shake things up. Do things differently. So, in 2023, I've been doing things differently, shaking things up. I have a different type of schedule, a very aggressive schedule. I got a lot of different things that I have going on, different businesses and stuff like that. And one of the things that I want to tell you guys is I'm going to take you on a journey where you can leverage your success coach, leverage your upline, leverage your mentor. You want to put them to work. Okay. So going into 2023, listen closely. So a couple things happen. So right at the end of 2022, I got a new team that I started, so right before we went on the ACN cruise, I got, 20 new business partners, was on fire, doing some things. And we were looking for a location in Cleveland, Ohio to start a BOM. Now we were in negotiations with this location. I don't know why the lady was taking a long time to respond and answer, but I had already heard from God. I told myself, I said, the minute that she responds, we are going to go with it. So the colleague of mine that finds or sets up events and stuff, she contacted me literally a week before Christmas and said, hey, she finally reached out. She said that, we can get the space. We can get the space every Tuesday, because I was kind of holding out because I don't know why, but all the pricing went up since the pandemic. And it didn't make sense because of the pandemic, we don't have 200 people. We have 200 people popping every Tuesday and every Saturday. And because of the pandemic, it's not like that. It's almost like we're starting from scratch. I'm like, we only need a space for like 50 people. So it doesn't make sense to pay the same price for 200 people that you're paying for 50 people. And finally they got to me, and the colleague of mine said, so I guess we're going to wait until January, wait until 2023, because Christmas is next week. I said, no, we are not putting off what we could do today, hoping for tomorrow. We're not doing that. You want to hope for tomorrow. You want to have faith, because leaders live in the future, but you need to act now. You always act now. You act with your faith really is showing up by what you do right now, not talking about it, not saying, oh, when 2023 comes, we're going to do this. It's acting on it right now. So I said, no. I said, we're going to do a BOM next week. We're going to do an ugly sweater contest next week. I'm going to fly into town, just like Mr. Thomas is flying into town, into Dallas tomorrow to help his team. And I just want to give a shout out real quick to James Clark. James, how long have you been in the business?
About 10 years, sir.
10 years. You said 10 years.
Yes, sir.
So listen. James Clark, been in ACN for 10 years. I just had a feeling that he'd been in the business a long time. And he still had a presentation with 17 people and 21 people respectively. What does that mean? It means that you could do the same thing. Stop saying that I ran out of people, you're not following the system. And then Mr. Thomas knew about it, so that means that he's taking advantage of his coach. So I'm gonna continue on. So I said, let's have that meeting. Let's schedule it. And we scheduled it. I went out there and it was good. We got, it was about 40 people, 10% were guests, and everybody but one, 4 got in, 4 out of the 5 got in on the, by the next day, at least. They all got in the business and was ready to go. And I was excited. I was fired up. I said, you see, this is what I was talking about. It doesn't matter that Christmas is coming up. What matters is the heart. Some people are already, this is the difference. You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about 2023, but you're not being limited by 2022. You're thinking about the future, what I'm going to do in 2023, but you're ready to get started right now so that you can set up your 2023. And in that same process, I was in phase 1. I told you guys that. I started a new team. I built a new team. And out of that new team, I got somebody, he's on a call today. His name is Tony Kynes. He'll probably be a regional coordinator next week. He's an executive team leader. He's been in the business just a couple of months. And in that time, he has, about 30 business, a little over 30 business partners. He's been on fire. He's a business owner. And he got started in the first place because of Impact Healthcare. He wanted to take advantage of Impact Healthcare. And he's been having a phenomenal time. He is now training my team, with customer acquisition. He did the BOM yesterday. He did the presentation, and I got, alerts, out there in Cleveland from people that got started from it. And we only had a couple of guests, and we got a couple of alerts because of his leadership. But I wanted you guys to hear from him because he is a personal recruit of mine. And yesterday, he was able to get 4 new business partners that got started yesterday, okay? Some of it is because of me. Some of it is because of him. But the biggest thing is that he took advantage of me. In that same process, he's a personal recruit, but I got 6 personal recruits that month, 6 that he got started. And only one of them is taking advantage of the coaching that I talked about last week, the leadership, the accountability, and that's him. So I want you guys to hear from him real quick. I want you guys to hear his story, okay? Hear how he got momentum, hear what he's doing to take advantage of the ACN system. He actually, even from Cleveland, he's super, if you guys knew how busy he was, because he is a self-employed business owner, out there in Cleveland, and he took time to fly all the way to California for the one-day Emerge event also, and has come back on fire. So real quick, I want you guys to hear from Tony Kynes, executive team leader.
Thank you, Mr. Payten, for having me on the call. Thank you again for your leadership. And real quick, like you said, I'm super busy. I'm a business owner on an auto repair facility here in Mineral, Ohio. I actually just left there to come home to get on this call for a second. And what he said is absolutely true. I've totally taken advantage of the leadership and the training and support. Mr. Payten told me he will be there for me, so I've been able to leverage him. He's been there for me. Actually, after the global call last night, he actually did a 2-on-1 with me about 11 o'clock last night. And I got an IDO like right before the stroke of 12 last night. So I'm just staying plugged into the system. I'm part of the Midnight Madness team where I've been able to leverage Mr. Payten as well as other leaders like Mrs. Nicole Woods, Mr. Efren Tejada, Mr. Dean Tirali. So I'm just taking everything I can from these guys, and I'm soaking it up. I'm like a big, huge sponge, and everything that they pour into me, I'm just passing it down to my downline. And like he said, I went to the Emerge event. I actually took one IBO with me that happens to be my daughter, and it was amazing. She had gotten the business. She really wasn't being coachable at the time, and she wasn't really responsive, but I took her to that event, and she came out of that event by lunchtime. She was on fire before we even went in for the second session. So she came out of that event working on her list, calling. She actually got qualified while we were there in California. So I got the email as soon as we got back here Sunday night and back to Ohio. And like Mr. Payten said, I am leveraging him to the max, and he is of his word. Just like he said if he says something, he's going to do it. He's done it. He's been there for me, and everything that he's given me, I'm taking it and I'm running with it. And I could talk all day, but I'm not. So like I said, he said leverage them. I'm leveraging them, and it's paying off. My team is on fire. I'm getting ready to hit regional coordinator, like he said, and I'm looking to be regional director by the international.
And real quick, could you talk about Impact Healthcare? Because he reached out to me, and the reason that he reached out to me was because of Impact Healthcare and being a business owner. Could you tell that story real quick? And
Absolutely.
how you leveraged it and got some other businesses?
Absolutely. So I was looking at ACN. I've been familiar with ACN. I was actually in ACN before, and I was looking for what I was going to do as far as my second business. At this point, my life is at a point that I'm ready to step away from my day-to-day operations with my business. So I was looking for a second business. With the way the economy is now, with people not wanting to work, a traditional business just didn't make sense. And like I said, I was looking at the ACN website and I saw that they had healthcare. So I reached out to Mr. Payten, and it was at like 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday. I said, ACN has healthcare. He said, yes, we need to have a conversation. What was so important about that is that being a small business owner, being able to offer traditional healthcare as a small business is just impossible because it's just too much money. You know, it's like paying double taxes almost. So it's just not feasible. And I do a lot of work for a lot of fleet companies that have small businesses, and none of them offer health insurance because they just can't afford it. So when I saw this, I said, wow, this is really an opportunity to give small businesses a chance to compete with the larger businesses that do offer health care. So I was super excited about it. I've already implemented it into my business. So as I hire new people, they already know that they can come in the door with healthcare, and it makes a huge difference when it comes to recruiting the proper talent that you need. So I'm actually in the process of I'm just going wild talking to businesses because I already know the answer to the question, do you offer healthcare to your employees? The answer is no. So I'm talking to all the small business owners that I know, and I'm just following up with them. And Impact is going to be like, I studied it, I learned it, I'm mastering it, and I'm just implementing it across my whole team. I'm telling everybody to learn his service and go out and talk to small business owners because everybody needs it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kynes. I appreciate your time. I know he's at work right now, running his business, and I know it's so much going on out there. So I appreciate you. So the paramount reason I wanted you guys to hear from him is because he's good. He's good in his business. I want you to hear from him as an executive team leader that's new before he gets the regional coordinator, before he gets to the regional director, before he gets to regional director, before he gets to regional director, and before he gets to regional vice president, because it's about to happen. And it's a couple of reasons why. The first thing is just like the individual that you guys heard from, just like James Clark, just like James, I'm in phase one. I had a meeting. I had one out here in Texas, a PBR in my new home. And I had multiple Zoom events. I have them all the time. I'm always peaking people, always talking to people. And this is the thing. Eventually you attract a leader, okay? I have 3 regional vice president legs, 3 regional vice presidents on my team. One of them is on this call, Mrs. Nicole Woods. I'm about to have a 4th one with Tony Kynes, okay? And this is why. Because I am still working, still recruiting, doing the work, not talking about it. I had a goal in mind for 2023, and I'm my word. My wife was sitting next to me in bed 2 nights ago, and she said, I just want to get my expectations right, because I know you got these goals, and I know that we have a plan of action that we're going to do, and you got this going on, you got this going on, you got that. She started naming all this stuff I got going on, and she said, so what does that mean for us? What does that mean for me? I said, this time, now listen, when I was going regional vice president, remember, I got RVP gold in 2 years. It was before RVP gold when it came. I had 200,000 in billing. I was getting, as a team coordinator, I was getting 20 to 30 reps a month. As a regional director, I was getting 30 to 50. As a team coordinator, I was making 10 to 15 grand a month. As a regional director, I was making 20 to 30 grand a month. I was moving and grooving. Then I duplicated that in my organization. So I had regional directors getting 20 to 30, and I was, getting 200 reps a month, as a regional vice president. By the time I was regional vice president, I was sitting pretty. My first my first regional vice president residual was $5,000. It was in 2 years. I was in Florida because I was celebrating. Anytime I get promoted, I celebrate just like Tom Brady, you know, just like people that win. I go to Disney World. In my mind, that's how the great people celebrate. So we went to Disney World. We were there for a couple of weeks. And my first week I was there, I got a 10 grand check. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm not even doing nothing. And I made $40,000 my first month as a regional vice president. This is all true. And I was working so hard though. I was missing birthdays. I said no family day, no date day. You know, I literally worked all day, every day. It depends on what you want, but what I wanted was what I have right now. I wanted to be able to homeschool. I wanted to be with my kids and my wife all day, every day. I wanted this now. So the work that I put in then was for this right now. People think, oh, that's crazy, this and this and this and this. But I'm just telling you what I did. And the way I did it was I did a 6 and an 8 o'clock PBR every night. I did 2-on-1s all throughout the day from follow-up from those events that I would do. This was Monday through Friday, okay? On Saturday, we had Saturday training. After Saturday training, I did a 2, 4, 6, and 8. And on Sunday, I had a 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I was just packed out. And that's how I was able to get crazy, crazy momentum. I was able to attract a ton of Tony Kines, you know, getting into my organization, because you attract who you are, okay? So I did all of that. So my wife wanted to know, like, look, is this happening again? I said, nope. I said, we are still able, we're still gonna have date day. We actually have Bible study together every single day. And that's new. I implemented that in 2023. That was one of my goals this year. So we have Bible study every single day. Quick, real quick. I said, it's gonna be quick because we were doing it once a week together. I said, no, I want to spend more time with the Lord with my wife. You know, that was one of my goals in 2023 that I implemented. And I told her we were going to do it in 2022, but then I actually did it. How many of us say we go do something and then not do it? So I told her, I said, no, we're still going to do that. I'm still going to spend time with the kids. I'm still going to go play basketball with the kids. I'm still going to spend time with them all the time. I'm still going to go to their games and practices and still be in phase 1, because now it's different. Now I was able to get a platinum residual. And at the same time, with that, I can work a little bit less than I was doing before. But it all is determined on your action. You gotta put in the work. You have to do what you say you're gonna do. Whatever you tell your spouse, whatever you tell your kids, they're watching you. And I always tell people that are around me, I'm raising leaders. I want them to know that daddy keeps his word and daddy hits his goals, all of his goals. Everything that I say turns into gold. And when you do that, you attract people like Tony Kines. Not only do you attract go-getters or people that was like me, that was broke, that wasn't a business owner, didn't have a business mindset, they're gonna go make it happen, but you attract business owners that get it. He immediately got everything through himself, became an impact customer. We didn't have to have a conversation about it. It wasn't a argument, you gotta fight somebody to get qualified or anything like that. Immediately, he started to show up as a leader. But the way that happened was because I attracted him by being in phase 1, okay? And then by being who I am. He wanted to work with someone that he knew had integrity and was gonna put in the work with him. He calls me his trainer. He calls me his personal trainer. He said, it's like working out in the gym and you have somebody that is a trainer and they can spot you and they can help. That's what he calls me. And that's exactly what I was talking about last week. Find a coach, find someone that holds you accountable, okay? But you also hold yourself accountable by being your word. When you tell people you go do something, that's why I make my team say it. Tell me when your regional vice president date is. Tell me when your regional director date is. And then you go put in the work and go make it happen, go do it. That's what you got to do in 2023. If you do it in 2023, you will have abundance. You will have a life and lifestyle that you could never have imagined, because you actually were your word, you did the work. Don't just get on these calls every day and not apply it, okay? And then Mr. Thomas talking about good morning, who got their leads? Don't get on here and not do the work. Do the work, learn and earn at the same time. Put the work in, and you're gonna attract business owners, you're gonna attract people. You guys are gonna hear more from Mr. Tony Kines later, I assure you, because he's gonna make this stuff happen. And I wanted you guys to see it. You know, like I said, I'm in phase one. I got a doctor in the business that's on his team that from me, personal recruiting. I got her in the business yesterday, and yeah, someone else in the another business owner in the business, and another person in the business, all from being in phase one with Tony Kines leading by example. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are fired up. I hope you guys are excited. I wanted you guys to hear practical example of me being in phase one, because I tell you, I'm not always in phase one. It's not easy to be in phase one. When your residual is telling you, hey, you worked hard, the residual be talking to you. You worked hard to get here. You don't forget how much you sacrificed years ago. Don't forget about all that. Don't look at this residual. This is coming in. This is way more than what you were making at Scott's Miracle Grow. It's double what you were making at Scott's Miracle Grow. And you get to just sit there and do all the other stuff that you just go do ministry, go do this, go do real estate, go do this business, go do that. You don't have to spend your time. You got passive income, you got a residual check coming in. It talks to me and it tells me stuff. So I have to hold myself accountable and put in the work and still be in phase one, because nothing motivates your team more than the leader putting in the work. Somebody's going to elevate their game and say, man, I got my SVP working like this. I got my RVP working like this. I need to step my game up and turn up. And that's where you see people like James Clark and like Tony Kines. So again, I thank you so much, Mr. Al Thomas. I wanted to show you guys how I was applying the things and not just talking it, not just firing you guys up. I live it. It's an impact lifestyle, all right, for me. So God bless, and thank you again for having me on the call.
Good. Don't go nowhere, sir. Don't go nowhere. We appreciate you so much. Look, everybody, he gave us the what? The key. Phase one is the what? The key, the golden key, the golden key. He gave you the golden key today. He says your faith is now. Leaders live in the future. So many people last year, I wait till 2023. Like he said, why wait? Do it now. I mean, I started my 3 a day last month. I can wait to January, not the present. So live in the future. Man, Tony Kines, congratulations, sir. We're glad to have you on the call. Automobile repair business. He's ETL all the way to RC, to RD. He'll probably shoot up RVP way before then, but we thank him. What did Mr. Payten say? You know, $40,000. Did you guys hear this? A month as an RVP first check. So why are we playing around with this business? Why have we got the RVP? I mean, the money's there. What are you waiting on? You need it. You want it. He says his first check was $5,000 residual. Then the next month was $10,000 residual. He was in Disneyland with his family. And he said, this is ridiculous. I ain't even working. Well, he got paid for stuff he do. And that's the beautiful thing about residuals. Most people don't understand. You still get paid on what you start, not what you finish, like a JOB.